Today in Public Eye News, first responders are receiving hazard pay and a haunted barn is coming to Dickinson County.
Later in the show, Megan Tarcia will have your weather and Devontae Stein will be back to give you your sports for the day. I'm Scott Minshaw.
I'm Devontae Stein and welcome to Public Eye News. Marquette police officers, firefighters, and Ishpeming police officers are set to receive a $1,000 bonus. This request was approved in Monday's City Commission meeting. The bonuses were funded through the CARES Act that was passed back in the spring. Ishpeming Police Department was approved for the same hazard pay back in September. Chief of Police Steve Snowart said that the money should have been distributed to healthcare workers as well. Although healthcare workers were not included in the recent approval, premium pay for Marquette City workers was approved. They will receive a one-time payment of a minimum of $250. Local law enforcement and members of Keweenaw Faith United wanted to discuss what it meant to keep disagreements civil. Chief John Delaney from Houghton Police Department says keeping those who are protesting or having a rally safe involves communication. According to Chief Brian Codwell, Michigan Tech University Police Department, anyone who is practicing their First Amendment right has a right to do so, as long as it's peaceful. Officers in today's segment wanted to remind people to respect the rights of others, and if you want better neighbors, be a better neighbor.
The annual Haunted Barn in Dickinson County will have a new location this year. As it was announced, the county fairgrounds will host the Haunted House. The Haunted House will take place this weekend, October 30th and the 31st, from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Also at the fairgrounds will be a picture area, treats, and an outdoor kids maze. The event organizer, Mary Clark, said, quote, "We feel really lucky that we were able to do this. It's just something to get out of the house, do with the family, and incorporate everyone. It's been great," end quote. Earlier this month, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson announced a new policy to ban the display of guns near any polling places on Election Day. In a surprising turn, a judge in the state has placed a ban on the new policy. The ban comes hours after the judge heard a challenge from a gun rights group. Here in Marquette, the policy from Benson will not be enforced, according to County Prosecutor Matt Weiss. Weiss said that he consulted with local law enforcement before making the decision to not enforce the policy. While police will not be present at polling stations, they will respond to any complaints of voter intimidation.
The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services has released recommendations for voters and poll workers for the November 3rd election. Anyone who is registered to vote may vote early by visiting the city or town clerk office November 2nd. They can request, fill out, and submit a ballot all in one trip. Voters who already have their absentee ballot can drop them off at the drop box by the clerk's office. Election workers who are required to wear masks will ask for voters to show photo ID. Eligible citizens who are not yet registered may register, request, and submit an absentee ballot at their local clerk's office through 8 p.m. on November 3rd. When going to vote, practice healthy behaviors. Wearing a mask, washing your hands, use hand sanitizer provided there, and maintain at least 6 feet from others while waiting in line to vote. Michigan has $27 million allocated for the Going Pro Talent Fund program this year. Going Pro awards grants to employers to help with training, development, and retaining employees. This goes for any kind of business. This can include customized training, classroom training, apprenticeship programs, or on-the-job training. The process begins with an online application. Bay College is one of the institutions available to provide trainings. Last year, Michigan Works helped award $1.1 million to the Upper Peninsula companies. This application period opens November 1st and closes November 30th. After this break, we will have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Rising temperatures.
We need to reduce the heating effect.
Can we stop them?
Every year, the damages are worse.
From going too far. Now, help may be on the horizon.
It's going to be revolutionary.
New technologies that could turn down the thermostat.
It's like science fiction.
But are they enough? Can we cool the planet on Nova?
Tonight at 9 and tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Welcome back. The city of New Orleans is bracing for yet another hurricane to make landfall this afternoon as Hurricane Zeta races towards the Louisiana coast. Around the city, officials and emergency responders make preparations for the hurricane to hit shore as they close floodgates, among many other preparations. Originally, the hurricane was supposed to be a generally considered weak Category 1 storm. This morning, the forecast have updated Zeta to Category 2, with winds of up to 100 miles per hour when it hits land. Officials have said that Zeta is the strongest hurricane this far west in the Gulf of Mexico so far this year. A group of high school students in Texas have started a project that teaches home design and construction, but the young builders are also learning valuable life lessons. Nancy Chen has the story.
It's not the biggest house in the world, but for the homeless veteran who receives it, the home could be a lifesaver.
Being able to pick a veteran off the street and be able to give him a home and somewhere to live and grow is just amazing to me.
Architecture and engineering students at Kingwood Park High School in Houston build the 209-square-foot homes. They come with all the essentials: a bed, dining table, cabinets, and chairs. Former U.S. Marine Eduardo Rodriguez received the group's first home last year after he suffered a stroke.
And that totally upended my life. I lost my job, my home, and just found myself in need. You know, I'd always been independent, Marine, the hero, do everything on my own. And then I found myself humbled, so to speak.
It usually takes about 6 months to build these homes, but this one was 2 years in the making because of the pandemic. The students were determined to get it done.
At the end of the day, we are just kids trying to do something with our hands to give back.
The group hopes to make homes for years to come. Nancy Chen, CBS News.
Belgium has been hit hard again by the COVID-19 pandemic. This week, news struck that the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control had recorded Belgium, which is between Germany, France, and the Netherlands, as having the highest 14-day cumulative number of COVID-19 cases per 100,000 citizens, just surpassing the Czech Republic. 11,038 people in Belgium have already died from the pandemic right now. Belgium's capital, Brussels, hosts the headquarters of the 27-nation European Union with its steady stream of international visitors. Throughout the crisis, the Belgian population was unified in one way: the general sense of confusion about the changing rules enforced by the different layers of government, as well as constant clumsy communication. For someone living near Brussels, a bar closing hour or a maximum cap on attending a funeral might face different rules while just being only 12 miles apart. A 34-year-old ice skater from Columbus, Ohio, was a victim of a stabbing last Friday that put her in the hospital. CBS Channel 4 News reporter Lindsay Eaton gives us the update.
This is 34-year-old Emma Baxter. She's a talented ice skater. She spent years with Disney on Ice and skating in Spain. Here in Columbus, Emma is a very popular instructor.
She's great. She is wonderful with the kids. We actually have kids from outside of the Bartholomew County area that request her, so they come in from outside of the county to just be with Emma.
On Friday morning around 6:30, Emma showed up for a lesson at the Hamilton Center Ice Arena. Here in the parking lot is where an encounter with a stranger turned violent.
The man approached her in the parking lot, asked for a cigarette, and when she told him no, she got back into her vehicle and tried to get away. However, the suspect crashed into her vehicle a short time later in a stolen car.
Police say the man, Ryan Halligan, then stabbed Emma.
She even dialed 911 in an attempt to get officers here, and one of the saving graces was that this happened right around our shift change, and we had a CPD patrol officer here just moments after getting the 911 calls.
Police say as soon as officers showed up, the suspect took off running over this bridge. They found him hiding near a home and arrested him. Since the attack, park officials tell us they are now looking to add extra security measures.
Do we need extra lighting? Do we need extra security cameras? So we're looking at all those options.
Mark Jones is the director of the Columbus Parks and Rec. This ice rink is a busy place for families and young skaters.
A little shocking, scared.
After spending days in the hospital, Emma is now home recovering. Her ice skating family realizes she has a long road ahead, but they want her to know she's missed.
Employee, we love her. I know her kids really miss her. All of her students miss her, so we can't wait to get her back.
In Columbus, Lindsay Eaton, CBS 4 News.
Stay tuned, because after this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports.
When you hear zombie, do you think of shambling, flesh-eating corpses? Or maybe violent, infected humans? I'm Dr. Emily Zarka, and I'm a monster expert. A Americana is steeped in zombie lore.
We clearly had an appetite for these kinds of stories.
By diving into the historical creatures we fear, we can learn a lot about ourselves.
Friday night at 10:30.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Megan Tarcio with your weather. Here behind me is a very gloomy NMU campus where you can see the rain is starting to melt. Looking into our current conditions, it is cloudy with a temperature of 42 degrees. Our winds are west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Our barometric pressure is 20. Looking into tonight, it is rainy with a low of 38. Winds are northwest at 8 miles per hour. Looking into tomorrow's conditions, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high of 34. Winds are north-northeast at 14 miles per hour. Looking across the UP, starting in Sault Ste. Marie, it is 41 and partly sunny. In Manistique, it is 44 and mostly sunny. Escanaba, 46 and sunny. Menominee in 44 and partly sunny. Iron Mountain, 44 and partly sunny. Ironwood, 35 and rainy. Up in Houghton, 38 and rainy. And here in Marquette, 42 and cloudy. Looking into our weekly forecast, starting with Friday, it is a high of 37 and a low of 29. Cloudy with sunshine later on. Saturday is a high of 47 and a low of 30. Windy with showers later on. And Sunday is a high of 32 and a low of 26. Windy with snow showers. Now going over to Devontae with our sports.
Thanks, Megan. The LA Dodgers defeated the Tampa Bay Rays last night 3-1 to end the 2020 roller coaster of MLB season with the win in their first World Series in 32 years, joining the LA Lakers to bring another championship to the city of Los Angeles within 2 weeks of each other. Mookie Betts was excellent for the Dodgers as he hit a solo shot home run in the bottom of the 8th to extend the Dodgers' lead. Some wild events took place, though, as Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner received a positive COVID-19 test during the game and was removed to isolate. Turning some heads, though, as the Dodgers won in celebration and ensured Justin Turner did not isolate and returned to the field to celebrate with his team. He was also not wearing a mask as he posed for pictures with the team, with the Dodgers manager Dave Roberts sitting directly to the right of him, as Dave Roberts was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma only some years ago. Overwhelming emotions of victory definitely overtook health precautions in the Dodgers World Series celebration. Nonetheless, congrats to the LA Dodgers on their World Series win. Looking forward to Week 8 of the NFL. Coming to us tomorrow and Thursday night, football's NFC South divisional matchup between the 1-6 Atlanta Falcons and the 3-4 Carolina Panthers. Both teams are coming off losses last week as the Falcons accidentally scored a late touchdown, giving their opponent, the Detroit Lions, 1 minute on the clock to drive down the field and score a game-winning touchdown as time expired to win 23-22. If the Falcons would have drained the clock to kick a field goal, the Lions would have no way to stop the clock, ensuring a Falcons victory. This was the third game this season. The Falcons blew a fourth-quarter lead to lose the game. The Panthers are also coming off a loss to the New Orleans Saints last week, 24-27. The Saints sacked Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater late in the game on third down to push the Panthers out of field goal range to ensure a victory. The Falcons and Panthers both are looking to get the season's path straightened out a little bit with a win this Thursday. Utah Jazz are being sold. The Miller family has agreed to sell the team in Vivint Smart Home Arena to Qualtrics founder Ryan Smith for a whopping $1.66 billion. Ryan Smith is a lifelong Utah resident and Jazz fan who built software company Qualtrics before selling it for $8 billion. Smith already had a relationship with the Jazz, which included a philanthropic jersey patch that raised around $25 million. The Miller family owned the Jazz for 35 years, with seeing much success in that team with 16 50-win seasons, 9 division titles, and 2 Western Conference finals. The Jazz, since the 1989 season, have the second best winning percentage in the NBA with a 1,470 to 1,014 record, which is 59% win percentage. The only team ahead of them being the San Antonio Spurs. The Miller family saved the Jazz from Utah by purchasing the team back in 1985 when the team was under financial distress that led to the team almost being sold and relocated to a different area. The Miller family will retain a small minority interest in the team. That's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we will see you again tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.